Hello everyone, today I am going to talk about how to create a stack bar chart in Power BI. Before I start, you may wonder what is the stack bar chart is. Power BI stack bar chart is useful for comparing multiple dimensions against a single metric. This will work well if there are not too many measures because it will become cluttered so it will be difficult to read the chart. Now let's try to create a stack bar chart together. First, you have to get the Excel file of the data set to create a chart. Open the Power BI and import your file by clicking on here, Get Data, and choose the Excel workbook, and then connect. And but since I already did it, so I will start creating the stack bar chart. The stack chart is in the visualization here, the first one. When you click it on it, it will show up here like this. In this file, the bar chart will show the indicators for the World Happiness Report, and you can see the data here. And select the data that you want it to show on your chart. For example, this is the name of the country here, and this is the indicator of the happiness report. I will select family, economy, freedom, and generosity, like this. So this is what I mean when I say that if there are too many data here, the chart will be so difficult to read. And yes, this is finished.
In this part of the video, I will be looking at the visualization called cluster bar chart. To start off, I will be giving you an overview of what it is and when to use it. Cluster bar chart is used to display horizontal bars of multiple data regions, i.e. measures, against a single matrix. When creating a cluster bar chart, you have to consider the axis, legend, and value, which will be put into the field section. Axis will specify the column that represent the horizontal bars. Legend will display group by category data series as in horizontal bars. Values are on the x-axis. It should be any numeric value such as sales amount or total sales. But when do we use cluster bar chart? In general, according to Microsoft, bar charts are good for looking at a specific value across different categories. This means it is useful to use it for comparing data or displaying the distribution of data. To elaborate, in this case, we use bar chart to show the sales of different countries and the product lines sold. This allows us to compare. Now that we have a brief overview, let's have a look at how to do it. First, your data need to be imported and cleaned, which I already did, as you can see. And after we have the data, let's start by adding the cluster bar chart visual into the Power BI report page from the visualization pane. Then let's add some column into field section. I will choose country for the y-axis, which I'll have to find. Where's country? Here. And for the x-axis, I will choose sales because it needs to be numeric value. And lastly, for legend, I will choose product lines. That is what I want to compare. And here we have a cluster bar chart which allows us to compare different products sold in different countries. And if we would like to look at it specifically, we could also use filters to filter the data we want. For instance, if I want to see the product line sold in Austria, I will choose Austria, and here we will have a cluster bar chart for the sales of product line in Austria.
So I will talk about the table visualization in Power BI, which is this one. So firstly, a table is a grid containing related information organized logically into rows and columns. It might additionally have a row for totals and headers. Tables are useful for quantitative comparison when analyzing a large number of data into a single categories. And now I will show you how to use it appropriately. So first I select the icon data table and I have import a file, Excel file into the Power BI. Then I want to know the sales, cost of goods sold, and the profit of my data. So I'll choose a date first. I'll choose a date. Yep, not on that one. I'll choose a date first, and then I will choose the product name, the country. Now I have the date and the product and the country that my product have exported to. Next, I will click the sales, cost of goods sales, cost of goods sold, and the profit. And if you can't see the profit, you can expand it to see the profit, to see the column of the sum of the profit. And as you can see that using the table visualization, it can display the sum of the 2 year sale of my company, and it can like totalize this sum of the cost of goods sold and then the sum of the profit. And as you can see that of my 2 year sales, cost of goods sold, and profit, I gain around $100 million for both sum and the cost of the sales and the cost of goods sold, and the profit is around like $16 million. So to be to show the function, there's some function that I'm really interested in, which is the grid function, which you can separate each column separately and do that to know which column is which column without confusing. So for the horizontal grid, I can choose a blue color, and then the vertical, I can choose the also blue color. And now I can separate the column equally, and now I can know that okay, this column is actually this column is for a day, this column is for product, and this column is for country. And it can like visualize the data easier for the viewers to look. Well, next I can set up the headers. Now I can go to the column headers and to set it as the actual headers to know that okay, this column is a headers, and below in that is a data set. And the last one I really like is how they can show the data bar on the sum of the profit, so it can allow us to see the profit without to see like the profit easier without looking at a number and see which if it's negative or positive. So I can go back to the data visualize, go to the sum of the profit, right click and choose conditional format and choose data bar. I will select the positive bar to be blue and the negative bar to be red. Now it will show as the number of the profit by visualize it using bars. And you can see that it shows like the red bars and the blue bar, which means this one gained a profit and this column didn't gain, and this row didn't gain any profit. So I can look at it easily and just analyze it, that which month or which product or which country gain a lot of profit and not gain much profit.
I'm gonna be talking about decomposition trees. This is decomposition trees. The decomposition tree is an Power BI visual that allow you to analyze and explore the data by drilling down into your data across multiple dimensions. It also automatically aggregates your data and drilling down into your dimension in any order you would like. So the decomposition tree will have three sections for you, which is analyze, explain by, and tooltip for you to add some data on. So in this case, I will try to do this. You can drag it down and something like that. You can drag anything you would like to drag it down. So I have already put in the data in the analyze and explain by and tooltip sections under decomposition trees. The analyze is what you want to break down, which is percent on back order. The explain by is the percents contributing to the analyze, and the tooltip is the unit that you want to show when you're hovering around the data. So you could click on the plus signs and click on whatever data you want to drill down into. For that, you will see that there's 5.82% that contributing to the percent on back order, and there's as you can see, you can click on this to visualize the data that work with order visualization as well. You could click around here to show to the different option to see what is the drill down to each of the options as well. And there's also another functions on the decomposition trees which has the AI that come in to help us, which is this high value and low value. As you can see, if there is a light bulb in the left side, it is the AI capability that help us. You can click on high values. It's gonna have the dot line into what is the highest toward the intermittent, and lower value into it will for the low value it will have the lowest value that contributing to the previous one, which is patient monitoring. Also, there's a function that you can click on the padlock icon, which you could lock this, which means you couldn't delete the level that you have created. When I unlock it, it can delete it, remove your level. But if you click on this, you cannot delete it.
Today I'll teach you guys how to use the Power Apps for Power BI. So Power BI is basically enable data, insights, and better decision making, while Power Apps enable everyone to build and use apps that connect to business data. Using Power BI Visual, you can pass context-aware data to a Canvas app, which updates in real time as you make changes to your report. Now your app user can derive business insights and take action from right within their Power BI report and dashboard. Or basically mean we could create an app to show in the Power BI. So let's begin. First of all, we need the business data or any type of data. And you could pick it up from the kaggle.coms. It provides so many types of data. For example, I could pick the air quality data from New York City. And suppose I pick this one, so just click download and then open Power BI. And here's the data from the air quality in New York City. So after that, go to report, look for the Power Apps for Power BI. Just click it, and then you could select any data that you want to show them, like this, and then it will bring you to this website. It's called Power Apps. So you could, as you could see, like I could edit any data here to show on the Power BI. And here's the example. You could fix any numbers or add any text that you want to. After you're done all the adjust, you could click right here, save, and then wait for a while. It will be updated in the Power BI. And there you go. You get it. That's all. Thank you.
I will be talking about the extra visualization, which is infographic designer. Infographic designer chart provide the ability to display the data in form of multiple rows and columns. This chart make use of a lot of shape, icon, and even play around with the color. So let me show you how to use it. Firstly, you can click on this. There will be a section to add the information here, which is category, legends, measure, column by, and row by. As you can see, it is appear to be like this, as I already put the OS and unit in the sections. You can change the way the charts look like at here, format visuals. And click on this, and you can change it to be bar chart, line chart, or column chart. In this case, I will keep it bar chart. And you can change the icon right here. In this case, I will be selecting the mobile phone to display as it is due to the topic of OS. You could turn on the multiple units here, so it will change the way it visualized to be many mobile phone instead of one long phone. You could also click here on fill percentage, which change it to be ratio according to this. And you also can click on layout and go to bar 2, which change it to be outer, which could change it the way it shows to be like this. I would like to add the text on there, and so I come up at the layout to change the way it display. So I'm gonna type it 30% on the top. which will lower the icon it to be smaller and lower it down. So I will click on here, which is inserting text. So as you can see, there will be text appear in the top of that. You could also change it to be divided by to units or OS, and this I will be applying at the units, which it show that how many of them, how many of the unit there is compared to this. Okay. For the infographic designer, you could also put more data into the section more than two, which is at the column by, row by, and the legends. Moreover, you could change the color and how it is. The icon of each of the category, you could click on here. And data binding fields, you could click on if OS change to be like this. For Android, I will put it to be hard. For iOS, I will put it to be star. For Linux, I will put it in the plus sign. For other, I will be putting it to be the circles. Applies. It will appear to be like this. You could also click on the value color to turn on, and you could click on what's the color you want it to change to be. So if you change it to be like this and click apply. So for the summary, I would like to say that infographic designer is suitable to use with the data that has certain topic. Also, the infographic designer is suitable that if you want to create the chart that you can modify and put it into the form of having category, measure, column bars, and row bars.